driving the culture forward. This is HYPEBEAST Radio. I'm Madrell Sinney here with...
What's up, Hypebeasters? It's your boy, Ben Rosen, a.k.a. the co-hostess with the co-mostest.
And we're sitting down with tattoo artist Jonboy.
What's up, what's up?
John, how's it going?
What's good? Chilling, man. Chilling. Living the dream, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you for dropping by. We just wanted to catch up with you for the podcast, get your start, talk about, just how you got into tattooing, and then also, just... Yeah,
where that is taking you.
It's been crazy. It's been an amazing, crazy ride. It's been a journey. 18 years doing the same thing, and it's awesome. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. And I feel so fortunate to be doing something where I can take this craft and bless others with these little tattoos and go all over the world and pop up and getting to work with some cool people, cool brands, and doing my thing. And yeah, man, just having a good time, just enjoying this ride.
Yeah, and for those that who might not be familiar with your work, you're based here in New York. You tattoo out of Bang Bang.
Yeah.
Can you give people a rundown of your style?
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of I'm a minimalist, man. You couldn't tell that if you were to walk into my house because I got a lot of stuff. But when it comes to tattooing, I like doing just minimal work. I feel like it ages the best. It's timeless, clean line work. I do small tattoos. Maybe that's why God gave me small hands. But that's what I like to do. That's what I enjoy doing. The little tattoos, the ones that I can complete from in an hour. So yeah, it's neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and your clientele is definitely within the hypebeast realm. So could you just give a rundown of some of the people that you've done work on?
Bieber.
Oh, I tattooed that dude's face. I did his face tat. Yeah. Justin was cool, man. It was he came through, pulled up, wanted to get something, and I got to do a little cross on him and Joe Termini's face, and I was there first. I think I inspired him.
I was going to say, that's pretty intense territory. You got to tattoo one of the most recognizable guys on his moneymaker.
Yeah, man. I got so many just kind of hate DMs after that happened. I was like, why would you do that to my beautiful husband's face? I was like, yo, I don't...
He's not your husband.
Yeah.
You're a Brazilian teenager.
You're a Brazilian crazy fans. But yeah, man. People just pull up, Jeezy's just been I did his first tattoo not too long ago, and now he just keeps going and going. Him and Halsey. So there's a lot of people I tattoo. I mean, to me, yeah, it's cool. I get to tattoo some of the people that we admire and we see them on billboards and TV. But I'm just happy that I get to tattoo people. People want to get tattooed by me.
So how did you get started in tattooing? I don't really know if the origin story is all that well known.
It was I was in prison and I had to stay neutral. No, I'm just kidding. My grandpa had tattoos. He was in the Navy. He had a rose, and that's kind of what got me interested. Got my first tattoo, and you know what they say: once you get one, you just you're addicted, and that's what. Yeah, that's what that's what happened to me. So be careful. But yeah, if you do need your first tattoo, get it from me. Plug. So after getting my first tattoo, I just I was addicted to having these tattoos and the feeling, and just But anytime I would try to approach that whole can you teach me how to do this? I was basically discouraged. Every single time they're like, nah, man, you don't want to do this. I think they looked at me as competition. Why would I want to teach someone? And when there was only a handful of tattoo artists, now I feel like there's just so many great tattoo artists. Some may think it's oversaturated, but there's a lot of great tattoo artists, especially here in New York City. It's amazing. But yeah, it kind of so cliche, but I feel like tattooing found me. I went to, because I was like I'm gonna let go of that dream of being a tattoo artist. I wanted to do something that had to do with the youth and people. And so I went to seminary. I wanted to be a youth pastor. And I did a 2 years of Bible college and went to basically ended up moving out to Iowa, of all places, and to become a youth director. And in that time, I met this. It was just like the most boring town, you know. And I wanted to hang out. There was a local tattoo parlor, and I'm like, that's where I'm gonna chill out. You know, I'm gonna chill, hang out there, draw. Old biker dude named Kevin Fitzgerald was there. He let me hang out, and I remember just just having these talks, being like, yeah, man, it's so crazy because I feel like you're an answer to prayer. You know, he was trying to live that, you know, straight and narrow life and not be an outlaw anymore, you know, like clubber, you know, and he's like, yeah, man, I just you know, I've been praying to send someone to help me on this journey, and he felt like it was me. And then I was like, yeah, man, let me hang out. And you know, after just hanging out and just helping out, he's like, yo, let me teach you how to do this. And you know, taught me everything from, you know, building my needles, making inks, building machines, you know, well, he didn't really teach me how to draw. You know, back then you just pick something off a wall, and you know, I got to just trace it, you know, and you know, that was fun. But you know, it's tattooing's changed, you know, 18 years later. So
yeah, and I feel like that's kind of always been an interesting thing, is that you're both like a very religious and faithful person, but also into tattooing. And I feel like, has that been hard to reconcile? Because they're kind of almost like they're like on opposite ends of the spectrum, right?
Yeah. I mean, believe it or not, there's still people out there that feel like tattooing is a sin, and they'll throw the Levitical law at you, and it's like, yo, you know, I mean, that's
the only reason I don't have any.
Yeah.
My family's kind of Jewish, and it's like one of those things where it's like, you get one tattoo, you can't be buried on the family plot, right?
Yeah. It's true. There is that, like, you know,
stigma.
Yeah, it's tattoos are very just taboo, and I don't think it'll ever be, you know, mainstream. I think it's still, tattoos aren't for everyone, and that's fine. You know, I'm not gonna be like, oh, we can't hang, Ben. You know.
Yeah. Damn.
But you know, if you need one, I got you. Let's just do a little freckle, man. Let's do a little. Let's do a little star, David.
Tattoo, actually, I think.
But yeah, you know, and that's what happened. I mean, I walked away from the church really because they were telling me that I was doing the work of the devil, because I was hanging out with like the outlaws and the bikers and the, you know, like they were like, what are you doing? This isn't helping your walk with God. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, isn't that what like Jesus did? Didn't he hang out with, like, you know, the tax collectors, the prostitutes, the scum of the earth, you know, one translation said, the uneducated and all that, you know, that's who Jesus hung out with. And I feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. This is my call, you know, and I get to, every single day I get to meet people, and these tattoos have so much meaning behind them. And sometimes I feel led to just pray for them right before I do the tattoo, or even just hang out and befriend them, because people walk in carrying so much weight, you know, and they're getting these tattoos, you know, for whatever reason, you know, if they've lost a loved one, or if they're going through something, or, you know, they want to mark that moment in their life. And these tattoos sometimes, I don't know, they bring people hope and strength and reminder of who they are and where they've come from. So,
what was the first tattoo that you got?
I got a tribal armband. That was the wave back then. I was like, oh, them tribal armbands, you know, like Pamela Anderson. But I want one for Jesus, though. So I got like a crown of thorns, you know, I tried to justify it, you know, being crucified with Christ. But yeah, it was tribal. It was this tribal armband. I remember I didn't go all the way around. You know, I told my friends it was because I didn't have enough money, but really because I tapped out. I was like, all right, I'm good.
We're good.
But that was my first tattoo. And then as I was, you know, sitting there, I was like, man, this is pretty dope, you know. And, you know, people do look at you kind of funny, you know. And, I mean, New York there's so much diversity here that no one really pays attention to that anymore. But, you know, living in the Midwest, you know, people look at you and be like, what? Who are you? What are you, you know, like, you know. Hide your wallet, hide your kids, just hide your wives.
Yeah. And for a lot of like, first timers that are getting like, their initial tattoo and stuff, they often come up with like a lot of like questions and stuff that they have for tattoo artists. And a lot of them can be like pretty bizarre. Like what are some of like the most like, bizarre questions that you've gotten, or like, that can probably be answered on like a Q&A or some sort?
Bizarre.
Meaning as, I'm not sure if you're familiar, but there's like an Instagram page where like tattoo artists like send in the questions that they get asked. Like,
how not to get tattooed? Is that the one?
I think that is.
Yeah,
the one.
man.
That one's pretty
page,
hilarious.
I follow that page. Sometimes it makes me.
So there's an Instagram page, right, where a community of tattoo artists send in like questions that they receive. And I think like one of my favorite questions is that like, a person asks, hey, look, I want to get a tattoo this size. And they take a photo of themselves going like this on their hand, trying to like measure out the placement. So,
wow,
yeah,
so this is basically like the worst people that could ever possibly go into a tattoo parlor.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, they, so basically people will DM and be like, hey, how much for this? Or, can you do a trade for, weird stuff? And I'm like, yo, what is, I don't know. You have to check it out. But it makes you, I don't know why, it just, sometimes it just irks me. I'm like, man, people are so like, just rude and ignorant. And, people asking for like discounts because my buddy da. But yeah, it's just funny. You just have to check it out.
People are clout chasing with tattoos now.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, my heart.
But yeah, I mean that's the world we live. It's crazy because I don't know. It sucks that like sometimes maybe I'm part of this like cheapening tattoos, being part of the whole like let's do like $13 tattoos on Friday the 13th, like, you know what I mean? Like why are you gonna sit there and do a tattoo and where you're only gonna make like $5 or $6 off after you've given your cut to the shop or whatever, and now you've like sat there, put the work in, that person's got a permanent tattoo, oh, they're gonna come back. No, they never come back. They only come back on Friday the 13th. It I think when that all went down, it kind of cheapened our industry. It was like, if you could do a $13 tattoo today, you can do a $13 tattoo, anytime. And it's
how much does a regular Jonboy piece cost?
I mean,
obviously on the size of it.
Yeah, I mean the shop, Bang shop minimum, they start at $500 on up. But you're gonna get the best quality tattoo. You're gonna get the best experience too. Everyone's super pro there. It's not
That's
gonna
the
be
studio we stopped by, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. That's interesting.
Yeah,
nice.
Clean, sterile. We use the best of everything, and we guarantee our work. Everyone's you're gonna get the best experience, and the best tattoo. So you get what you pay for, but yeah.
Yeah, and Bang Bang being like, one of the, I would say like most popular tattoo parlors here in New York City, like, the clientele that walks through the door is pretty like, high profile and stuff too. Like, so going back to the story, like how do you get from learning how to tattoo like 18 years ago to like ending up at Bang Bang?
Yeah, I mean, Bang was just someone that I admired him from a distance, and I started hearing about Rihanna getting these tattoos, and I was like, who is this guy? Bang Bang, Bang Bang. And I looked him up, and I wanted to, I almost wanted to just like, I wanted to hate on him, but you couldn't, because you're like, yo, this guy is crushing it. He's a great tattooer, great, guy, businessman, and it's like, I was just when he reached out and was like, hey, I might have an opportunity for you while I was working at West 4th. He offered me a spot at his shop, and I'm just learning so much from him. He's my mentor. He's a guy that I want to hopefully one day open a shop with him, and just because he's got so much knowledge, and he's just someone that I can just hang out with and learn so much, from just the way he approaches tattooing and life and business. So yeah, I'm just I've been over there since July 2017, and just been crushing it over there. I work with some of the best tattooers in the world, I feel, and we're getting nonstop guest artists coming through from all over the world, and I'm just sitting there trying just soak it all in, and it's so inspiring being there. You know, it's so important. You know, I don't get it when tattoo artists work in private studios, man. Like, yeah, that's cool. You don't want to, like, you know, you've got to do your thing, but how much are you gonna really grow and being in the private studio? I think there's something about being around people and just having that.
I was gonna ask, who's your favorite person to tattoo? They don't have to be a celebrity if they're not a celebrity, but
Lauren, my momager over here. Yeah, I love tattooing her because she's always got the cool ideas. And
how many Jonboy tattoos do you have?
I have 14 now.
And when was the last time you got one?
I got one like 2 months ago. It's a 91 in varsity letters. So that one was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, I mean, I love, you know, I love the ideas that she comes up with, and, you know, she's always on trend. But yeah, man, I just love tattooing people, man. There's not really like, who's your favorite, you know? I don't know. Like, as long as you're nice to me. Usually they're nice to me because I'm the man with the needle, so watch out.
Yeah. So when did you first move to New York to begin, like, you know, making a tattoo career here?
I moved out here in 2010, and I started working at a shop called Fine Line, one of the oldest tattoo parlors in town, and yeah, they've been around since '97. Along with Fun City, but yeah, Fine Line Tattoos. They didn't really have the hours for me, but I was like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna move out here. This is my big break. This is my chance to really live in New York City. You know, being from Chicago is always one of those places where you're like, man, one day I'm gonna live where the Ninja Turtles are, and you know. And you know, it's been awesome. It hasn't been an easy road. It's definitely been a journey. In my first year or so here, I was just like, why am I here? This place stinks, and
so expensive.
So expansive, and so lonely. but yeah, you know, it New York will do that to you. But if you can prove to New York that you deserve to live here, you have to earn it. But once you do, once you pay your dues, New York will give back to you tenfold, man. So, you know, I encourage anyone out there, if you feel like this is where your heart is, do it. But it's not going to be easy. New York's not for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're talking like 2010, so that's like like just the exposure that social media has given like a lot of creatives and stuff. So like, how hard was that? Like, you know, just trying to make your initial start and get word of mouth spread around.
Oh my gosh, it was hard. I didn't have any clientele. I was like going out there and, you know, doing just meeting anyone I could. You know, whether it be at the you know, at the store or at the bar or, you know, church or wherever it may be. I was just you know, meeting people, and once they find out you're a tattooer, cool, you know, I want to get in your chair. But yeah, it's been a hard, it's been a struggle. I mean, I remember when I was tattooing out of, I don't know if you guys remember, it was just this club in Meatpacking 55 again. What was it called? The Gun Bar. They wanted to give it that like Lower East Side vibes. They had like, you know, they had graffiti all over, and they built me a little tattoo station in a booth. And I had like one light, you know, which they were always complaining, like, turn the lights down, we're trying to have a party. I'm like, yo, I'm doing tattoos. So I'd be tattooing from, you know, midnight on to like 4 a.m, and I was tattooing just
in a club,
you know. And
how distracting was that?
It was very distracting. People were like knocking on the window, be like, it's my birthday, can you play me my song? I'm like, yo, it's not a DJ booth.
But get requests and you're not even a DJ.
Yeah, it's the nightmare. But yeah, that was sitting there, and I was barely like making rent because I was, you know, I was getting that bottle service too. So I'm like, I don't feel like tattooing anymore. Let me. But yeah, it was hard. It was hard. I was, you know, I've you know, I've had to move apartments so many times, been evicted, you know, but because I couldn't afford, you know, like living here. So it's just been a hustle. It's hustle, you know, whether it's like, you know, doing your tattoos or, you know, having to line up and flip some flip some Supreme, man. Like,
were you doing that too?
Yeah,
like,
man,
you were like you were like one of the biggest Supreme fans. Like, I don't know. I visited West Fourth. One of my buddies, Waz, was getting a tattoo.
Oh, Waz.
Yeah, you know Waz. Have you given Waz any tattoos?
No, I haven't tattooed Waz yet.
That'll be next week, probably. Yeah. That'll be the next episode. But I remember when you used to have this, like, you had like a HYPEBEAST corner over there. You had like Supreme everything, the fire extinguisher and everything. Was that
for sale? Everything's for sale. No, I'm just kidding. No,
not anymore. But were you used to flip stuff and
man.
It was rough?
I mean, it was. I when I moved out here, I was like, man, what's up with these lines? You know, being from Chicago, we didn't really have these like lineups, and I came out here and I found just you know, I made some friends in these lines, and every weekend or every week we'd be there for the drops, and they'd teach me like, hey man, you know, like, you know, if you can cop, you can turn around and, you know, flip this stuff, and I was like, for real? And yeah, it was a fun time, because I would, you know, I'm a sneakerhead, so I would buy as many pairs as I could. I wasn't greedy, but you could usually come out with like 2 pairs, you know, one to flip and pay for the ones I got on my feet.
Yeah.
But that was it's fun, man. You can't do that anywhere else, you know, other than I feel like here, and maybe even like, you know, maybe LA or Japan or London. But I feel like New York is where it's at when it comes to like resellers and stuff. Yeah, I don't find anything really wrong with it. Some people, you know, will hate on like resellers, but man, I, you know, keep that hustle on. You know, it's if people are buying it, do it. You know.
Yeah, and these days it seems like the obsession has switched from like Supreme to Gucci. I heard that you even have like a Gucci apron.
Yeah, Gucci not for sale. But anyway,
that's all you.
Yeah, man. I mean, I just love. For me, I mean, it was Gucci. For me, it was. It just comes from my childhood. My mom had a Gucci bag collection. Whether it was real or not, I'm not sure. But in the Filipino culture, you know, it's almost like a status thing where you're rocking Gucci bag or Louis. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, I made it, you know. But we didn't really make it because we were still going to all you can eat places, stuffing that. I remember her stuffing that Gucci tote with all you can eat shrimp at Sizzler, and I'm like, man, you know, and just so we can eat, you know, for the day, and yeah, so that's where that I guess where I was introduced to Gucci, and I loved Gucci when, you know, Tom Ford was there. I was rocking the Gucci, and then it got a little stale, and then all of a sudden, you know, Lauren actually, we were in Vegas, and she's like, you got to check out this new Gucci. I'm like, what do you mean? And I walk in, and, you know, you've got these, you know, the Gucci prints with snakes and tigers and, you know, floral and all these roses and all this imagery that to me just were tattoo imagery. I was like, yo, that tiger head, I feel like he took that from like an Owen Jensen flash book. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then I just started just rocking it, you know, and I was starting to just obsess over Alessandro, and I think he's just a genius, and I love it. I love that he's about the art and not just the fashion, but the art. So.
And I also think that it's appropriate that we have a tattoo artist that's saying all this, because a lot of the Gucci stuff now that's so cool, I think, has so much like it owes to like the Christian Audigier, Ed Hardy, right? Like I know that's probably not a popular opinion on a fashion podcast, but I do think that there is something where like the dragons, the snakes, the type, right?
I mean, look at Ed Hardy. I mean, Christian Audigier was just the creative director, and you know, but Ed Hardy's design, you know what I mean? Like, people really weren't into the old school tattoos when he started putting out, you know, the hats, the gear with all the old tattoo imagery, and then
like
people
the Sailor Jerry style, right?
Right, and people started falling in love with those designs, and I love that. I love that I love that these Gucci designs are super tattooable. You know, I love it when someone comes up and says,
do people do that? Do people ask you for like
it's
Gucci
dope,
tattoos?
man. When they're like, yo, can I get that Gucci snake? I was like, yeah, I got you.
That's my shit.
You know? Yeah, I'm the guy. I'm gonna charge you Gucci money. But yeah, it's fun. It's neat seeing you know, a legacy brand like that. You know, just doing some cool, you know, pieces with that imagery, with the tattoo imagery.
And I know you mentioned that you had been kind of like cast away by the church for a bit, and I've been fascinated with Hillsong for the past couple years. So yeah.
Have you been?
I haven't been yet.
Dude, we got to pull up, man.
Yo, they
7:30.
Yeah, so the reason 7:30 on Sundays, right?
Yeah, not AM, man. I'm at Bedside Baptist.
You're at the PM
with,
mass.
Pastor Pillow and Sister Sheets. But yeah, 7:30 PM, man. I'm a late nighter, so 7:30 PM. It gets pretty lit. I mean, I don't know if anyone can say church is lit. Church gets lit, but we get litty.
And so how different, like, how is that community a lot more accepting of a lot of like the modern behaviors and choices, right? Like, It's like they don't care if you're, I mean, like Justin Bieber is probably the most famous person that goes, but it's also like, have you, like, I guess my simplest question is, have you given Pastor Carl a tattoo?
I haven't tattooed Carl yet, man. I don't think he's gotten a tattoo since for a long time. I remember when I was like, yo, I do tattoos, man. And he's like, yeah, I got to think about what I want. I don't know if I'm getting any more, you know? No, I haven't tattooed him yet. I've tattooed a lot of our pastors though.
Yeah.
It's been awesome. I'll tell you, it's, you know, before you started seeing that I was tattooing these like celebrities, you go way back in my feed. Most of the people, 90% of my clientele was coming from Hillsong.
Really?
I was tattooing a lot of the you know, like I said, the pastors and the worship leaders and, you know, people that were attending and whatnot. You know, I was tattooing a lot of that because they found someone that can put a tattoo on them that had to do with their faith, you know. And most of the time when, you know, I remember when I was getting tattooed and I was wanting to get things that had to do with my faith, I'd get people make fun of me, you know, like the tattoo artist be like, ha, 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 you know, don't you want to get something else, you know, like why would you want to get that? And I'm like, I want to get that verse because it means a lot to me. And so I feel like I'm, you know, I was the guy that that shares the same journey as you, same faith. So I'm not gonna give you, you know, if anything, I'm gonna make sure that you're blessed with this tattoo, and I'm gonna pray for you, and So Hillsong has played a huge role in where I am today, and just being accepted and with my call.
And for any listeners that might not be aware, how would you explain Hillsong? I guess it would be sort of like a mega church that's like super modern would be.
Yeah, it's a very just like, I would say it's a very come as you are church. You know,
right.
It doesn't matter, like, you know, you don't even have to like believe, you know, to belong. It's just a cool place where you can, you know, maybe sitting back and just, all right, what's this all about? The music is awesome. I mean, it's pretty loud. There's pretty good music. It's not your typical
hymnal.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so the worship is awesome.
And they're in these crazy venues. It's sort of like, it's very large congregations, and they kind of, I mean, do you know about Hillsong?
Yeah, no, I do. From only just because like a lot of the people that we follow in the fashion realm do like to go there because it is very come as you are.
Yeah. And no one's going to judge you. No one's going to be like, wait a minute, I saw you at the club the other night. You know, I'm like, yeah, you did. You know, and that's amazing because, you know, our pastors won't tell you like not to go out and, you know, like be separate from like the world. No, they're like, go where the people are. You know, that's what Jesus did, and just go hang out, you know, and just love on people. That's it. Like, don't, you know, we're not those people that will sit with a sign that says you're going to hell if you don't
sinful and whatnot.
No, man, that's not. Come on, man. Like, we're called to love. You know, that's they asked Jesus, what's the most important commandment, you know, and they thought he was gonna say, you know, make sure you're giving to your church, make sure you're attending, da da da. And he said, no, there's two important commandments: love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. So to me, that's just love people. That's the very nature of God. God is love, you know. And so yeah, it's a very just you know, it's really not. I feel like people are intimidated to walk in, but if you walk in, it does feel like you're going to a show, like you're going to a concert, because we do meet at
Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, we are meeting in these venues. We're at Hammerstein Ballroom, so it's just like, whoa, this is cool, you know. And the message is it's very. Carl and all the pastors are able to just bring the message to our level, and you know, and you're able to just kind of understand. It's very relatable. But yeah, it's a fun time, man. Like I need it every Sunday. I'm there every Sunday because I need it, because it's so easy to get distracted, and you know, especially, you know, where I'm going, and I feel like I get distracted, you know, like is it about this? Is it about this and that? And it's always just like, no, man, it's about like who you are in God and why He's put you here.
How long have you been going there for?
I've been going there for about 7 years. 7 years, yeah. I wasn't going there when I first moved out here, and you know, I got into some trouble, ended up in a jail cell, and I got to know Jesus pretty fast, you know.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, why'd you end up in jail?
Oh yeah, man, I hopped the turnstile, and you know, over a girl, and I had some things on me. Look it up; it's in the police blotters. But
police blotter.
But yeah, man. I mean, I talk about it, not to glorify it, but it's like, man, I know where I've come from, and I never want to be there again, you know. So I want to make sure that I make a conscious decision to make the right choices every day, and it's good to have a community of people that are on the same journey as you.
Now, tattooing has taken you from Chicago to New York. Where else has it taken you around the world?
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten to travel all over because of tattooing. We've gotten to do some trips to like Korea. I've never been to Canada, so Yorkdale Center, flew me out, did some tattoos at the mall. It just made sense because I'm like a mall rat. But it was crazy. I run off a wireless, so all the frequencies were like distracting. I just kept turning off. I was man. But yeah, we're going to LA we're going to LA coming up for Coachella, Revolve Festival. I just want to keep traveling, man. It's been awesome. It's awesome we can pop up. Yeah, we did Paris. I got the tattoo at Colette. That was pretty rad.
How was that?
It was rad, man. It was pretty surreal. I did a pop up and people were lined up around the corner. There was a line around the corner, and they were trying to tell people like, oh man, he's not going to be able to get to you. But it was neat because they were just like, we just want to stand in line to meet him, and that's special when someone just wants to say hi and meet you.
Get the selfie. Get
a picture. But yeah, it's pretty neat that I get to just share my art with people all around the world, and Instagram has made that happen. Has helped with that just because you get that exposure. And
yeah, does it ever catch you off guard when you meet people in on the street and they recognize you just from Instagram? Yeah,
it's always it's crazy, because I would rather. It's crazy. I love it, if you see me, please come up to me and I wanna chop it up with you or whatever. I'll take a picture with you because I'd rather that than someone you. Sometimes I can see them doing one of these things, and,
the secret selfie.
Yeah, exactly. or they start talking about me. I'm like, I heard you.
It's creepy.
Yeah. But yeah, it's it's crazy. It's crazy. That's never been what I was after or anything like that. I'm not really. Sometimes I'm like, man, I just want to stay home and be private. But if we're here, we're just we're here to hang. We're here to bless each other. So there might be something that you've got that I might, need, a word from you, or I need that. I need your smile. I need you to be like, hey man, I love you, because I need that. We all need that. So.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I think, like, thinking about on the opposite spectrum, like when you're tattooing, like a lot of these people that might be famous at times like that, how do you keep your composure? Like, like, are there ever situations where you're like, oh man, I can't believe that I'm about to tattoo this person?
Bieber's face, man.
Yeah.
What's the
For
pressure
instance,
like?
yeah, what's the pressure like?
That's
Yeah,
like
go
for
over
me,
it.
it's like that Zayn's hand. I think like that was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because I am a fan. I remember we were at his concert the night before we tattooed Justin, and we were in the nosebleed section. I remember being like, man, I can't even see him, but like I'm singing along to his songs. I'm a fan. And the next day he's like, literally like face to face, and I'm getting to pray for him. We're praying together. It's like it's super neat. But they're just everyone's just, we're all regular people. We're all human, I get it. I understand that they, I understand who they are, and I'm excited to be around them actually, because it's like I want to be around the people that are just crushing it, because it inspires me. I look at your life, and man, you're doing it, and I wanna follow in your steps. So it's pretty neat that I get to do that. But of course, I get a little, inside. I get, my heart starts to, race, and I'm like, man, it's just. But yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. I try, I'm super chill, but of course, I'm also a fan of you if you're good at what you do. So.
Now, we've heard that you're also like going into merchandise as well, like you're doing your own clothing and stuff. Can we talk about that, or is it too soon?
Yeah, man. No, I'm stoked, dude. I'm working with. I'm doing some cool merch, dude. I'm doing. Can I talk about like what I'm doing, or is that like they're just like
it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's coming out for when I'm out at Coachella. So I kind of wanted to kind of have that theme. I want people to just be copping my gear over there so they can rock it for the festival. So a lot of it is like just stuff that I wear every day, like a dust mask or windbreakers. I got some bike shorts coming out. I'm bringing tribal back, putting some tribal on my gear, and just because that's where I've come from.
An homage to the tattoo.
Yeah. But it's cool. Got some stuff in the works. I got to work with a cool company called Frenzy, and I use them, and they got some. It's nice. I could just cop something on the app and get it delivered, and that's what I want. I wanted it to be easy for people to just go on their phone and cop something. I wanted to make it easy, but I don't think I'm gonna see how it goes. I don't have a lot of units just because I don't want to. I don't know, what I mean? Like,
it's very limited.
Yeah, man. I just want the people that want to support me rocking it, and who knows what's up,
Yeah, I mean, aside from like just now expanding into merch, like and you mentioned like possibly opening a parlor of your own one day with like Bang Bang. Do you have like any other like inspirations or aspirations of what you would like to do, like in your career?
I mean, I would. Yeah, man, I have so many. Well, I'm just. I mean, of course, I'd love to get into fashion. I'm not a just because I find it so interesting, when I just what people like put together their fits, and if I get to tattoo a lot of these people too, so I get to see what they come in wearing and all that stuff, and I don't know, it's just inspiring to see what goes down the runway or what people are wearing on what street style and all that stuff in New York City, and I don't know, it's just I'd love to start getting into that if I could, but I don't know, I just like to have fun, maybe play, backup singer for Justin Bieber.
Yeah, I was going to say, who's your dream tattoo? Who's the one person you haven't tattooed yet that you want to do, besides Pastor Carl?
Yeah. Wow. I would love to, I don't know, man. I'd love to tattoo Johnny Depp. You know, he's got some pretty dope tattoos. I admire him. I'm a huge fan, so I would love to have an opportunity to put a little
on the tattoo
tattoo
inspo board? Because like you have your own very singular style and whatnot, but there are a lot of there are people that are known for having cool tattoos. Like I think that like for me, it's like Henry Rollins from Black Flag has like top 5 tattoos. Johnny Depp, obviously. I mean, you probably have. You've got more tattoos than I do. Why am I talking?
I only have 2 tattoos, but I'm trying to think of like my mood board now too. Like, but I don't know. What's your mood board?
I mean,
Allen Iverson's probably on mine.
See?
Yeah, Dennis Rodman. We got to bring back the, Godsmack sun.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Wow, the sunburst on the belly button.
Very
wow.
iconic. Very iconic. Yeah.
Yeah, nah. I just I love what people come up with. Like I love the fact that I love that I did. You guys know Kerwin Frost? I did his pencil.
Oh, you did the pencil.
You're the guy that did the pencil?
Wait a minute. Now we have the story.
Wow. He wouldn't tell us that.
So how does that happen? All right, so Kerwin walks in and he says, "Hey, I want to get a pencil on my face." And you just say, "Cool?"
No, man. This is a crazy one of those serendipitous moments. I was walking by Up and Down one night, and I meet Kerwin. I never met him before. And I tell him, who I am, blah, blah. And he's like, dope. And so I'm on my Instagram, and on my Explore feed comes Kerwin with a pencil tattoo on his face. I'm like, wait. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until the next day. He texted me and was like, yo, I want to get tattooed. What can I pull up today? I was like, okay, cool. So he came to the shop, and he brought the design, the pencil. And I'm like, wait, don't you already have this? He's like, nah, I was rocking a temporary one to see how he liked it. And I was like, you got any other tattoos? He's like, nah, man, it'll be my first one.
That was his first one.
Holy shit.
Like, I don't know if I'm I can't do this today. This is what you call a job stopper.
Career killer.
Yeah, right? Like I walk on the other side of the street when I see people with face tattoos. and I remember trying to discourage him and really trying to get his brain, I'm like, are you sure, dude? Are you sure? But I can tell he's creative, and I could tell that this guy has a call on his life to do some big things. And he almost walked out, and he's like, you know what? I'll just get it somewhere else. And I was like, you know what, man? I'm just gonna do it for you, because I know if someone else does it, I don't know if it's gonna turn out right. So at least I know it's gonna be clean, straight lines. And so I did it, man, and
wow.
It's been awesome, and just watching his growth and him just adding on to his collection of tattoos.
Yo, I really do think we have to, just as a disclaimer, a lot of those Instagram dudes will post fake face tattoos. Because Ass Pizza posted the Fortnite one.
Right. But it was just the
purple layer, the tracing layer.
The
but
tracing
they will
layer.
post that just to get...
rile other people, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And talk about Ass Pizza. So I did his first tattoo as well. He got the shut up the same time Kerwin did. But what I didn't know was the dude wasn't even 18 when I tattooed him. He came up with he got me on that fake ID.
See,
man.
They're out here. They're out here lying to folks. They're out here fake newsing folks with fake face tattoos.
But much respect, yo.
No,
he got me.
Yeah, shout out to
Austin.
Austin. Shout out to Kerwin.
Yeah, shout out to them. They wouldn't tell that story to us, but we got it through the grapevine better.
They're very eluding guys. They won't give you a straight answer for sure.
Yeah. It's all about staying sharp for Kerwin, man, and that's what that means. Stay sharp, and that's what he's been doing, man. He's staying sharp.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, aside from, the infamous pencil face tattoo, what are some other, very, risque tattoos that you've done?
Have you ever told someone that you won't do anything? What's the line? Is it
For me, it goes back to my beliefs and my faith. If someone is asking me to do something that's, I guess,
sacrilegious.
Yeah. I'll do I'll do a cross that's facing me. You know what I mean? But people think it's upside down. But that's another podcast. But anything that's gonna glorify evil, really. I'm not gonna do 666 on you. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna do anything I'm not gonna do a swastika on you. I'm not gonna do anything that has, any kind of.
So a lot of aspiring SoundCloud rappers wouldn't be able to go to you. Basically, it's like, yo, if you're coming at me with like a pentagram on your forehead, no.
Let's just go get some Skittles together.
Yeah.
You look like
Some Skittles.
you look like walking Skittles anyway.
Yeah, so like a great way that we like to end our podcast is if you were to go back in time and speak to your younger self at, let's say, age 13, what would be some advice that you would give yourself that would help you in the future?
Just man, don't get too anxious and trust the process. You're called. You have a destiny. We all do. You have this dream that's been instilled in you, and we want that dream to come true. We want to get there, but sometimes we get impatient, and we push things that don't need to be. We open doors that don't need to be open. Allow things to happen organically, but don't let go of your dream. Trust the process. It's gonna happen. Just keep showing up. Just keep showing up. If I can tell my 13-year-old self, just keep showing up and don't give up. Keep showing up because your destiny. I mean, now I feel like I'm living the dream now, and there's more to come. Like, it's so crazy. I feel like I'm here, but I feel like there's just so much more to come. And there's so much more to come for all of us. But trust the process. Be patient. Someone once told me the right thing at the wrong time is the wrong thing. So it's like, it's got to be the right time. It's got to happen the right way.
And for those that might want to be visiting New York anytime soon or get a Jonboy tattoo, how could they go about doing so?
Just shoot me an email. Shoot my management team an email. It's off of my Instagram, or stop by Bang Bang. I love meeting people. So come in and we'll if you want to get tattooed by me, let's do it. Why not?
Awesome. Thanks for dropping by.
Yeah, I might do that right after Hillsong on Sunday.
Let's do it.
That's the plan. Let's get it.